Hi all, this is Simona Rich. I'm recording on the rooftop because today, for the last few days actually, there was gathering of people here because there was a death in the family, so there are a lot of people and I'm unable to record on the balcony because it's just going to be a lot of noise. So I'm recording on the rooftop and I'm just looking where I finished last time. I guess it's from here. But what does it mean in actual experience? How do you know that for you time has ceased? Answer. It may mean that past and future do not matter anymore. It may also mean that all that has happened and will happen becomes an open book to be read at will. So here Maharaj explains that for him, time means nothing because he doesn't think about the future. He doesn't worry because worry is always born when people are thinking about the future, and he's not attached to anything, so he's not clinging to the past. So for him, time doesn't really exist. And here he also says that once that happens, then you will be able to see events easily. If something is about to happen, you will be able to get notified. And even before enlightenment, when you just let go of memories and don't worry about the past, what happens is that you feel the energy building up before some event, and you're guided about what to do. It's not that you're getting information about what will happen in the future, but you're just so at peace, you're so tuned in to the now that you feel that guidance and you follow it, you know what to do. So it's kind of similar in a way. Another quote. After the stage of creation comes the stage of examination and reflection, and finally the stage of abandonment and forgetting. The consciousness remains, but in a latent, quiet state. So here he explains that at first we are engaged in creating this world and we enjoy it, but then comes the pain, and then we start seeing this duality at play all the time. After happiness comes sadness, and then we kind of stop and start examining what actually this reality is. And upon examination, we understand that it's kind of illusory. It has the nature of illusion, and then we start getting detached from it. So here he explains these three states, and he explains that still you are conscious, but he explains that it's kind of you're quiet, in a quiet state, that you're not actively creating anything. To see reality is as simple as to see one's face in the mirror. Only the mirror must be clear and untainted. A quiet mind, undistorted by desires and fears, free from ideas and opinions, clear on all the levels, is needed to reflect the reality. Be clear, quiet, alert, and detached, and all else will happen by itself. So because of the blemishes of the mind, people are unable to see reality the way that it is, and because of their fears and desires, they totally color it in a personal way. So they don't really see the reality, but they react to their own opinions about it. So here he says that totally clear mind is required for you to see the way that things really are. There is destiny to consider. The unconscious is in the grip of the destiny. It is destiny, in fact. One may have to wait, but however heavy may be the hand of destiny, it can be lifted by patience and self-control. Integrity and purity remove the obstacles, and the vision of reality appears in the mind. Here he says that for some people, they cannot get liberated straight away because there is destiny to fulfill. But here he says that if you're patient, moment you control yourself, you will be able to lift the hand of destiny. And you have to be at one with yourself, not dual, but whole. For example, not thinking one thing and doing another. No hypocrisy. So if you're at one with yourself and pure, you will be able to remove the obstacles and therefore perceive reality the way that it really is. The universe is full of action, but there is no actor. There are numberless persons, small and big and very big, who, though through identification, imagine themselves as acting, but it does not change the fact that the world of action, Mahadakash, is one single whole in which all depends on and affects all. Step back from action to consciousness. Leave action to the body and the mind. It is their domain. Remain as pure witness till even witnessing dissolves in the Supreme. He very often would say that we are not the doers. It's just everything is happening by, there is one mystical power that makes everything happen, and even if you keep your body still, eventually it will start acting because you are not the doer. So that's what you notice when you stay in peace and you meditate and you try not to do anything at all. The body will have to do what it needs to do because we are not the doer. So that's the way to understand it. Question. I find that I'm always restless, longing, hoping, seeking, finding, enjoying, abandoning, searching again. What is that keeps me on the boil? Answer. You're really in search of yourself without knowing it. You are love, longing for the love, worthy, the perfectly lovable. Due to ignorance, you are looking for it in the world of opposites and contradictions. When you find it within, your search will be over. Again, the story of the world, everyone is searching for themselves, but they are searching for themselves in wrong places, and they really, people are in love with themselves, but because the mind is externalized, we think that we don't have that love and we are seeking for it or for perfection, but actually we are that. But because our consciousness is externalized, we think that that love is somewhere out there, but it's actually us. How am I to reach perfection? Keep quiet. Do your work in the world, but inwardly be quiet. Then all will come to you. Do not rely on your work for realization. It may profit others, but not you. Your hope lies in keeping silent in your mind and quiet in your heart. Realize people are very quiet. It's so often that because we are used to the mind being active, we think that it's activity that also will gain us liberation, but actually it's the opposite of it that will make it happen. There are levels in consciousness, but not in awareness. It's one block. Its reflection in the mind is love and understanding. Awareness, the reflection of awareness. There are different levels of consciousness, but awareness is beyond consciousness, what makes consciousness happen, and it has no levels. You mean to say an experience can be nameless, formless, undefined? Answer. In the beginning, all experience is such. It's only desire and fear born of memory that give it name and form and separate it from other experiences. For example, some people, when they are attracted to some people, they see them in such bright colors and they just totally make that person stand out from the crowd, yet for another person, they don't even notice that person. So it's our desires, the impurities of the mind, our preferences that make something stand out, but actually all of them are of the same nature. Desire and fear are obscuring and distorting factors. When mind is free of them, the unconscious becomes accessible. Does it mean that the unconscious becomes conscious? Answer: it's rather the other way round. The conscious becomes one with the unconscious. The distinction ceases, whichever way you look at it. Then if conscious and unconscious merges, then we become at one with ourselves. There is no duality in us left then. The source is neither right nor wrong, nor is desire by itself right or wrong. It is nothing but striving for happiness. Having identified yourself with a speck of the body, you feel lost and search desperately for the sense of fullness and completeness you call happiness. So once identification with the body ceases, there is no more search for happiness, because then we understand who we really are, the fullness itself, and then what's there to search for. In your fevered state, you project a past and a future and take them to be real. In fact, you know only your present moment. Why not investigate what is now instead of questioning the imaginary past and future? And indeed, they look so imaginary, especially I've noticed that as a result of my travels. I want to go somewhere. I remember now I'm in Nepal, but I would want to go to some country, and I take a flight, I get there, and it seems like the substance of dreams. I think of something and I do it, and then it's no longer there, it's past. And you understand, this is illusory. We are chasing something that is not real. We have something in mind, some goal to achieve. We achieve it. What's next? It doesn't even look of substance anymore, because we are chasing something that is illusory. Your present state is neither beginningless nor endless. It's over in a flash. Watch carefully from where it comes and where it goes. You will soon discover the timeless reality behind it. Is there any progress in witness? Does awareness evolve? Answer: what is seen may undergo many changes when the light of awareness is focused on it, but it is the object that changes, not the light. So here he says that from which everything arises doesn't change, but the light of awareness, where it focuses, we observe things changing, but the light itself just makes everything visible, but its nature does not change. Karma is only a store of unspent energies, of unfulfilled desires and fears not understood. The store is being constantly replenished by new desires and fears. It need not be so forever. Understand the root cause of your fears, estrangement from yourself, and of desires, the longing for the self. And your karma will dissolve like a dream. Between earth and heaven, life goes on. Nothing is affected. Only bodies grow and decay. So here he says that it's even possible to make sure that karma no longer affects us, because by disidentifying from the body, by understanding our true identity, because the karma is for the body, not for us. So when we are no longer under the illusion that we are the bodies, then we have no karma, because we are not the bodies. I can see that the basic biological anxiety, the flight instinct, takes many shapes and distorts my thoughts and feelings. But how does this anxiety come into being? Answer. It's a mental state caused by the I am the body idea. It can be removed by the contrary idea, I am not the body. Both ideas are false, but one removes the other. Realize that no ideas are your own. They all come to you from outside. You must think it all out for yourself. Become yourself the object of your meditation. The effort to understand yourself is yoga. Be a yogi. Give your life to it. Brood, wonder, search till you come to the root of error and to the truth beyond the error. So all the anxiety comes as a result of our identification with the body, and when we investigate this quote-unquote fact, then we realize that we are not the body, and then our anxiety is no longer there. Meditation is a deliberate attempt to pierce into the higher states of consciousness and finally go beyond it. The art of meditation is the art of shifting the focus of attention to ever subtler levels without losing one's grip on the levels left behind. In a way, it's like having death under control. One begins with the lowest levels: social circumstances, customs and habits, physical surroundings, the posture and the breathing of the body, the senses, their sensations and perceptions, the mind, its thoughts and feelings, until the entire personality is grasped and firmly held. The final stage of meditation is reached when the sense of identity goes beyond the I am so and so, beyond so I am the witness only, beyond there is, beyond all ideas, into the impersonally personal pure being. But you must be energetic when you take to meditation. It's definitely not a part-time occupation. Limit your interests and activities to what is needed for you and your dependents' barest needs. Save all your energies and time for breaking the wall your mind has built around you. Believe me, you will not regret it. Like Ramana Maharishi also told that meditation is very difficult. It's not just sitting in ecstasy. That's actually, as I said in other videos, it's a trap when you get into ecstatic states. It's totally sitting in the present moment and trying to become aware, always staying aware, and then that awareness reaches more subtler and subtler levels until, as Nisargadatta says, the whole personality is grasped and then you go beyond it. Yet he also says that for people who just cannot meditate, there is another wave of liberation, which is by totally trusting his words and dwelling on them and believing on them, because that was his way of liberation. He believed in the words of his guru that he is not the body, and he just dwelled on that message until he transcended. He actually realized it's true, we were not the body. Question: surely somebody is responsible for this horrible and senseless carnage. Why do people kill each other so readily? Answer: search for the culprit within. The ideas of me and mine are at the root of all conflict. Be free of them and you will be out of conflict. So again, as he always says, all the problems start with our own selves. So the best way to help the world is to make ourselves no longer under illusion of that we are the bodies, but to really understand who we are and that we are no longer selfish, and that's the greatest help that we can do to the world, by removing our own selfishness from it. Question: why do you say that existence and conflict are inseparable? Can there be no existence without strife? I need not fight others to be myself. Answer: you fight others all the time for your survival as a separate body-mind, particular name and form. To live, you must destroy. It's so true. And vegans, for example, think they're so righteous not killing animals, yet they kill everything. They kill even bacteria every day when they breathe and they walk. So that's the existence. We actually cannot live without killing. Every day we kill some being, many beings actually, just to live. And also, we always try to make ourselves different from others, gather knowledge, be very, in some specific way, different from others. And that's to preserve our name, our understanding of ourselves. And this is also estranging ourselves from the world. And it's kind of making ourselves, instead of integrating ourselves in the world, making ourselves different from the world. Continuing the quote, from the moment you were conceived, you started a war with your environment, a merciless war of mutual extermination until death sets you free. And so he says that this existence cannot be without violence. And for example, Buddha understood it also, and his way was not to be engaged in the world. The last quote, memory feeds imagination, and imagination generates desire and fear. Question, why do I imagine at all? Answer, the light of consciousness passes through the film of memory and throws pictures on your brain. Because of the deficient and disordered state of your brain, what you perceive is distorted and colored by feelings of like and dislike. Make your thinking orderly, free from emotional overtones, and you will see people and things as they are with clarity and charity. So the way to really see the world is when we no longer desire and no longer fear. When our mind is pure, then we see reality the way that it is. Yet if we dwell on something that we perceive, and we, for example, start desiring something, then we start imagining, and this generates more desire. And if we achieve our desires, then we have fears that we will lose it, and then we get involved in the Maya, in the illusion of this world. So best is not to dwell on anything for a long time. Just observe the world without your awareness, your consciousness getting attached to anything. And if you have likes and dislikes, through awareness you can dissolve it, or through investigation. How, for example, if you like something, you gravitate towards it, and then if you get it, how do you feel? Does it not generate more unhappiness once you get attached to it? Yes, because that thing may not last, or you may realize that once you get it, you want something else, and so forth. So it's best to detach from all this duality, and then our minds will be free, clear to see reality the way that it really is. So that's the final quote. I hope you enjoyed this series, this particular part of the series of the deep meditation videos. Thank you for watching. Have a lovely day. Take care.